Would everyone please stand at this time for the national anthem?
Good evening, and it is my honor to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Jasper High School class of 2020. If you could join me in bowing your heads for a prayer. Dear God, thank you for gathering us tonight to celebrate the amazing accomplishments of this year's graduates. Thank you for allowing this commencement to happen despite the challenges that were faced. I pray that you bless the parents who have supported and guided us here today. Bless the teachers who have used their knowledge and especially patience to teach us many lessons about subjects in life. Bless the administration and counselors for organizing and making this ceremony possible today, helping us stay safe and encouraging the best for us. Bless the staff for all the hard work they do every day. Please bless every graduate here tonight and those that cannot make it tonight. Please protect each of them as they go out and pursue their dreams. I pray that each of them, wherever life may take them, strives to serve each and every day. Inspire them to believe in the goodness of life, no matter the challenges they may face. As they commence with their lives, may they grow ever more grateful. Lastly, I pray that they have fun in life, be kind, and cherish every moment in the best possible way. Amen. Now please join me in a moment of silence to honor our classmate, Eli Anderson. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Your presence is appreciated as we finally get an opportunity to recognize the class of 2020. If you've not already done so, please silence your cell phone at this time. There are many people to thank for this event finally occurring, including the JHS custodial and maintenance staff, Mr. Mock, Mr. Yoakum, Mr. Ubalor, Mrs. Shum, Mrs. Hilgady, Mr. Elrod, Mr. Routson, and the teachers volunteering today and this evening to assist. I would also like to thank the parents for their patience and support, nearly all of whom have been very understanding as we have tried to navigate these uncharted waters. I will be the first to admit that I have made mistakes throughout, but your understanding has been comforting. Most of all, I would like to thank Dr. Lori, who has been my sounding board and helped me make tough choices. Finally, the members of the school board, who are always supportive and allowing us to do our jobs as best we can and sharing concerns when it is needed. Speaking of them, please join me in welcoming them. Members of the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board, Mr. Bernie Vogler, Mr. Ken Schnaus, Mr. Greg Eckerly, Mrs. Arlette Jackal, and Mr. Timothy DeMott. Also, welcome the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Tracy Lori, and Mr. Glenn Beekline, Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Jasper High School, and all schools in our district for that matter, is fortunate to have a faculty and staff committed to excellence. They're dedicated to their profession and the young people they serve. If you're a member of the faculty and staff of Greater Jasper Consolidated Schools, would you please stand and be recognized so we can show you our appreciation? And at this time, I would like to introduce Jasper High School's Assistant Principal, Mr. Jeff Mock.
It is my honor to introduce the Salutatorian of the class of 2020, Carson Park. Carson, please come forward. Carson is the son of Michael and Stephanie Park. Would each of you please stand and be recognized at this time? Carson finishes his high school career with a GPA of 4.629. Carson was a National Merit Scholar finalist, an Indiana Regional Academic All-Star, and president of the National Honor Society. He was the vice president of the Key Club, an Eagle Scout, a peer mentor, and a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and Students Against Destructive Decisions. Carson was a member of the football team, where his honors included Indiana Football Coaches Academic Honors All-State, Senior 4A All-State, Indianapolis Colts Academic All-Star, and a 3-year recipient of the Big 8 All-Conference team. Carson plans to attend Washington University in St. Louis this fall, where he will play football and study pre-med while majoring in mathematics. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2020, your salutatorian, Carson Park.
Good evening, everybody. I'm honored to be able to stand up here as this year's salutatorian and give a speech on behalf of the Jasper High School class of 2020. First of all, I would like to thank the JHS administration for making this year's commencement possible. It truly means a lot to be able to share this historic moment with the people that made the last 4 years of my life so special. It is nearly inconceivable to me that this day has finally arrived. 4 years ago, when I first walked through the JHS school halls, I thought my time in high school would be the equivalent of an eternity. But now, looking back, the last 4 years seem like they flew by in a matter of minutes. If you would have told me when I was a freshman that I could fast forward to this day, I probably would have said yes in a heartbeat. But in hindsight, most of the best moments of my life happened in the last 4 years. I got to learn new things in the classroom. I got to tear it up with my brothers on the football field. I got to hoist heavy iron with Glenn, Power B, Beakline, and I got to make some of my best friends in the world. One of my biggest regrets is looking so much in the future and forgetting to enjoy my time in the present. Some of my favorite memories from high school aren't any sort of successes or accomplishments, but they are the time that I spent with my family, friends, coaches, teachers, and classmates. As I stand here now, with my high school career officially over, I wish that I could have just a little of that time back. In addition, I've started to realize that the things that seem so incredibly important in the moment are often not nearly as important as we make them out to be. There are numerous times that come to mind when I was overly stressed out about an upcoming test, or about my football game the next Friday, or about an important homework assignment due the next day. I realize now that worrying about these things caused me a lot of unneeded stress, because none of these things truly matter in the end. Nobody's going to remember that grade you got on that random biology test, or that play you made in your sport in your sophomore year, but people are going to remember what kind of person you are. Everyone has a choice to be a good person and to do the right thing, and once you make that choice, everything else falls into place. On one hand, I'm happy and excited to move on to the next chapter of my life. From what I've heard, there is more to the world than little old Jasper, Indiana. However, I've grown to love the small town that we call home. I've grown to love the people in this town, so many of whom I would call my close friends. It's sad knowing that we will all go our separate ways, whether it be college, the workforce, the military, or some other calling. But I am grateful to have grown up with such an amazing group of people, and I am blessed to have had the high school experience that I had. Lastly, I would like to thank my teachers for their help and guidance. I would like to thank my coaches for making me into a better man. and I would like to thank my family for their endless love and support. JHS Class of 2020, congratulations, and I wish you the best. You all deserve to have success and happiness in your life. Never forget that. Thank you.
It is tradition at Jasper High School that awards are given to the outstanding young man and woman of the graduating class for their positive contributions over the course of their careers in high school. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Sean Yoakum, who will present the PTO's Outstanding Female, to be followed by Mr. Dylan Seiler from the Jasper Kiwanis Club for the presentation of the Outstanding Male Award. Mr. Yoakum.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. It gives me great pleasure to present the Jasper High School Class of 2020 PTO Outstanding Senior Girl Award. The recipient of this year's award has a long list of academic, athletic, and extracurricular activities. Some of her most notable accomplishments include 4-year member of the JHS Student Council, class president her junior and senior year, 2-year member of the National Honor Society, 4-year member of the JHS girls soccer team, of which she was a varsity captain her senior year, 3-year member of the JHS dance team, 4-year member of the JHS Unified Track Team, 4 years as a JHS Batgirl, member of Young Life, a wildlife leader, peer mentors for 4 years, natural helpers for 4 years, 4-year member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and president of the Riley Dance Marathon her senior year. The Jasper High School Class of 2020 PTO Outstanding Senior Girl Award goes to Caitlin Hankey, daughter of Chris and Julie Hankey.
Good evening. My name is Dylan Seiler. I'm the president of the Jasper Kiwanis Club. As part of a long-standing tradition, our Kiwanis Club has been selecting and presenting the Jasper High School Outstanding Senior Boy Award since 1942. This year's recipient has a high academic rating in his class and is well respected by his peers, teachers, and the administration. He demonstrates character, maturity, and intelligence, qualities that every young man should strive for. This year's recipient was the president of the National Honor Society and the vice president of Key Club. He was a 4-year member of the Jasper football team, an Eagle Scout, a Hoosier Boys State delegate, as well as being involved in various other organizations. He plans to attend Washington State University, majoring in mathematics. He presents himself, his family, our school, and our community in an outstanding manner. On behalf of the Jasper Kiwanis Club, I would like to present this year's Outstanding Senior Boy, the son of Michael and Stephanie Park, Mr. Carson Park.
It is my honor to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Anna Kidwell. Anna, please come forward. Anna is the daughter of Cynthia Norris and Jay Kidwell. Would each of you please stand to be recognized at this time? Anna finishes her high school career with a GPA of 4.677. Anna was a National Merit Scholar finalist, an Indiana Rising Star, and a member of the National Honor Society. She was president of the Key Club, vice president of the Earth Club, a member of Student Council, and a wildlife leader. Anna plans to attend St. Louis University and major in neuroscience as part of the university's Medical Scholars Program. She eventually hopes to attend medical school and become a physician. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2020, your valedictorian, Anna Kidwell.
Good evening, class of 2020. Welcome to all the parents and step-parents who are here with us today, and to those watching from home. Although this is not the graduation ceremony any of us envisioned, I'm so very thankful for the opportunity to be here with you all today. In the midst of this pandemic, despite all the uncertainty surrounding our futures, being in the company of my classmates is comforting. It is peaceful to look out in this crowd and see the faces of those I built so many memories with over the last 4 years, full of laughter, fun, and of course, learning. I'm thankful to be here today for both closure and celebration. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out a way to talk about how COVID-19 has impacted my senior year without sounding like I'm complaining. But I finally just decided to be honest with all of you and with myself. I can't help but feel cheated, and I think it's okay for all of us to be disappointed that our last year of high school, what was supposed to be the grand finale, was cut short. Like many of you, I've spent a lot of time anticipating all the quintessential milestones associated with senior year, such as prom, banquets, senior years, spring sports, and clubs. Many of these experiences were canceled, which is extremely disappointing. However, for me, the most disappointing part of senior year being cut short was missing out on all the small, often overlooked details, like goofing off on a slow afternoon. And I'm not saying that it was all bad, because at least we didn't have to take finals, but I think we can all agree that e-learning was no substitute for the personal interactions that happen in a classroom with a great teacher. Instead of spending our last 9 weeks of high school together, we were only able to interact with one another over the internet, or from 6 feet apart. Instead of sharing our future plans with one another during class, we found out via Facebook. Rather than passing each other in the hallways, we only saw each other's name next to black boxes in Zoom meetings. In place of lively classroom debates, our conversations were limited to discussion boards. Parents, the class of 2020 knows that it could be a lot worse. You don't need to remind us. It's important to maintain perspective in the middle of a pandemic that has claimed the lives of over 600,000 people worldwide. When so many people have lost so much, giving up part of our school year to quarantine is a necessary sacrifice. And we know that we were fortunate enough to have as much time in high school as we did. However, I think that we should have the opportunity to mourn the loss of what was supposed to be one of the most memorable periods of our lives. Before this pandemic, none of us could have imagined missing out on months of school. We were privileged in that regard. However, now we know that in-person instruction, like sports or concerts or just a hug from a friend, is not something to take for granted. We're all painfully aware of this, having lost a classmate like Eli, who meant so much to so many. That's what privilege is like, not knowing how good you have it. Many of us aren't aware of the privileges we have. We're all very aware of the areas in which we're not so blessed. I think that's where misconceptions about privilege can happen. Describing a person or group of people as privileged does not mean that they never have or never will struggle. All of us faced our own unique challenges in life before the COVID-19 outbreak occurred, and the pandemic has forced us to grow and change and depend on each other in new ways. For me, it's opened my eyes to all the ways I've been so fortunate in my life, and it's made me reflect on others who haven't been so lucky. I'm so honored to be valedictorian, but I know that privilege isn't a factor in students' academic abilities. Scholastic performance is a reflection of much more than intelligence. While all of us are intelligent in our own ways, some of us have had life experience or circumstances that have shaped our approaches and attitudes towards schoolwork. Some of our classmates grew up in households that didn't have the same access or resources to focus on schoolwork. Having support and guidance is essential to success in all areas of life, including academics. I'm sure our classmates have had worries I've never had to contemplate, like worrying about being able to get to school or not having enough food to eat each day. How could you expect students to care about a math test when the only thing they've eaten in the last 24 hours is the school lunch? Some of our classmates couldn't afford AP classes, private tutors, or test preparation classes. These are privileges that were available to some of us, and they have a real impact on our lives and our competition for grades. Some of our classmates worked every day after school or took care of their siblings at night. This greatly subtracted from the time they could spend on homework or forced them to skip out on valuable sleep in order to get everything done. Some of our classmates didn't have older siblings or friends who could help them plan their schedules or prepare for their classes. Seeing how the pandemic has changed my life and the lives of people I care about helped me reflect on my own privileges and how they've enabled me to succeed academically. Now don't get me wrong, I worked very hard in high school, definitely harder than I'd like to admit, and I had my own struggles and setbacks. But it would be naive of me to think that all of my achievements can be attributed solely to my hard work. There are certain privileges I enjoyed that have allowed me to work as hard as I did, which is what ultimately enabled me to be the student I am. I know that many of you worked extremely hard to succeed scholastically, athletically, and socially, and I don't want to take away from all the hard work you've put in. However, I would challenge you to examine your own privilege and remember that everyone is just trying their best. Many times I struggled to acknowledge my own privilege, and it is so easy for me to chalk up all my success to the hard work I put in over the years. I remind myself that although I should be proud of myself for the energy I put into being a successful student, I also need to acknowledge the circumstances of my life that have provided me with the environment I needed to succeed. You'll often find that you have advantages that others don't have, and there are always going to be people who have more advantages than you. Acknowledging this involves withholding judgment because you never know what someone else has gone through. Inequalities of privilege will only grow as we enter college and the real world, so it is important to gain awareness now. Winning awards or finishing in the top 10% of your class are great achievements, and I'm so impressed by everything my classmates have achieved, and even more excited to see the great things you all do in the future. But what really counts is knowing that you did the best you could with what you had. Finally, in the spirit of acknowledging my own privilege, I'd like to thank everyone who helped me get to this point. First, thank you to everyone who pushed me to actually write this speech because I procrastinated a lot. Thank you to all my parents who pushed me to be the best student and person I could be. I can't begin to express how appreciative I am of all the opportunities you have provided. Thank you to my many siblings who have always shown me the importance of laughter and fun, to celebrate moments like these when you're thankful for the past and excited for the future. Thank you to all my friends and mentors who are always there with words of advice or comfort. Finally, thank you to all the teachers, guidance counselors, and staff here at Jasper High School who have never failed to provide all of us with excellent classes, resources, and facilities. I'd especially like to thank all the teachers who ensured my own understanding of a subject, put up with my sometimes endless lines of questioning, and checked in on me even after I left their classes. Thank you for giving me advice, telling me what I needed to hear, and helping me see the bigger picture. I'll never be able to fully express my gratitude for all that you've done for me. Thank you all for listening, and congratulations to the class of 2020. Thank you.
Well, tonight is about the commencement or launching of the future for members of the class of 2020. We want to take a moment to recognize the culmination of some distinguished careers spanning several decades. I have a note posted in my office on a filing cabinet that I can read while seated at my computer, and it states, "We're blessed every day with the opportunity to help change the course of someone's life with our words, our actions, and our abilities." These retirees reflect this sentiment. They have served our district with distinction and demonstrated love and care for students that is worthy of praise from parents and colleagues alike. Joining us today are first Mrs. Christy Dilger. Please stand. Christy is retiring after 33 and a half years, all of which she spent teaching at 5th Street Elementary. She is joined by her husband, Chris. On behalf of Dr. Leroy and the Board of Education, thank you. Mrs. Debbie Quaddy, please stand. Debbie is retiring from Jasper Middle School after 29 years of service. Joining her this evening is her husband, Larry. On behalf of Dr. Leroy and the Board of Education, thank you. Mr. Rick Steffenagel, please stand. Rick is retiring after 41 years, nearly all of which he spent at Jasper High School. Rick was a longtime wrestling coach at JHS and teacher of special needs students. It may be too often used phrase to say that someone has a heart of gold, but my observations over the past 9 years have led me to believe the description fits Rick to a T. His middle initial is J, and his birth certificate states that the J stands for Joseph, but we all know it stands for champion. Rick is joined, Kathy's not here, but Rick's lovely wife, Kathy, is also retired this year. On behalf of Dr. Leroy and the Board of Education, thank you. Each retiree has been awarded a plaque by the district to honor their service that reads, "By word and deed, your presence has enriched the lives of students and served as an example for all." Please join me again in thanking the Greater Jasper Schools retirees able to be here with us this evening. Okay, check your programs. Choir, you're up.
the tide, for I will love you, dear, until the seas run dry. I am yours now and forever, till the stars fall from the sky. I'll be with you, my darling, when sunset fills the sky, and the echoes of the mountains are hushed by and by. For as darkness fills the evening, and my thoughts drift to home, I'll remember you are with me wherever I roam. I'll come home someday, just to have you by my side, for my dreams pull me back there, like the moon pulls back the tide. For I will love you, dear, until the seas run dry. I am yours now and forever, till the stars fall from the sky. I'll be with you, my darling, till the stars fall from the sky.
Graduating class of 2020, we're finally here, taking an opportunity to formally honor your accomplishments, bringing some closure to the 2020 school year, and more importantly, recognize that you and your classmates are moving into adulthood. And, in many respects, will go your separate ways. It is tradition at Jasper High School to recognize our graduates moving on to serve in a branch of the military. Most, but not all, of these students are unable to be present today. However, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize and celebrate their willingness to serve our country. If you are present, please stand when we call your name, and I ask that you hold your applause until the end. Ethan Clayton, to the Navy. Connor Fleck, National Guard. Private Christian Green, Army National Guard. Carson McElwain, Army. Dominic Arango, Navy. Nolan Pfister, Navy. J.C. Pierce, Air Force. Grant Sanders, Navy. Grace Truesdale, Navy. And Sierra Winkler, Army. Students, those who know me well are aware that I'm a little too opinionated at times for my own good. That said, I'm keenly aware that my ideas and opinions are not always right or best for others. I mention this because I have a real fear that the free and open exchange of ideas is not only under attack currently in our society, but on the verge of being lost. Sitting in front of us are varied talents, interests, abilities, work ethics, and beliefs. It is important that you and others like you allow for diversity, including diversity of thought. For those who celebrate when the speech and viewpoints of others are purged, beware. You are foolish to think you will not be next. So argue, debate, convince, but please allow for others to express their ideas. That said, do not be too easily swayed. Be aware of and stand firm on foundational beliefs. Changing as the wind is not the best way to live. Of all people, I was listening to a sports talk show host a while back who made a comment that I've tried to communicate before, but he said it better. Why would you take advice from someone you wouldn't take criticism from? And why would you take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from? So from where should you take advice? Well, you will develop that over time through the people you meet and the relationships you develop. But as a parent, I would hope that wherever you go, you would remember where you came from. Like me, your parents and those you love have likely made mistakes. But we all seek to learn and grow from our mistakes. Erasing certain personal traumatic events from your memory can indeed help you move forward at times. But it is my belief that it is good to remember how your values, ideas, and beliefs were formed. The mistakes we have made and our experiences shape us to be the person we are today. Erasing our history may result in it being repeated. This is true for individuals, organizations, and societies. So remember where you came from. Be aware of your foundational values and beliefs, and be open to constructive criticism. And lastly, know that we live in a diverse society with varied values and beliefs. We have managed to learn, grow, and improve for hundreds of years. It is up to you to carry the torch moving forward. I love you guys. I wish each of you the best. Dr. Lori, the guidance counselors and I have examined the academic records of these students and have found them to meet the requirements for graduation from high school as set forth by the laws of the state of Indiana and the policies set forth by the Board of Education of the Greater Jasper Consolidated Schools. As principal, I am proud and honored to recommend them to you as the graduating class of 2020. Class of 2020, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Tracy Lori.
Good evening. I would be remiss if I didn't say that you are all a sight for sore eyes. You've been very missed the last several months. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is quoted, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." I think we can all agree that the past 4.5 months have presented each of us with discomforts, inconveniences, challenges, and controversies. Life as we know it and expect it to be has been upended in both ways, tiny and profound. The events of 2020 will likely be seared in your memory and become part of the personal narrative that will form who you are as an adult. Life experiences, whether they be positive or negative, makes us the person we are at any given point in our lives. I hope you will look back on this year and share with your children and grandchildren the challenges you each faced as part of this pandemic and how you overcame them to be bolder, smarter, happier, and successful. I'm certain you each leave here tonight ready to pursue your personal goals and dreams. My wish for you is that you seize each and every moment in life to create a pathway of happiness and success. Mr. Wilson, with the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Greater Jasper Consolidated Schools and the state of Indiana, accept the members of the class of 2020 as candidates for graduation from Jasper High School. Having met all requirements for graduation, please confer the Jasper High School diploma with all of its rights, privileges, and responsibilities.
It is now time for the presentation of the diplomas. Front row, please stand. Anna Catherine Kidwell. Carson James Park. Caitlin Rebecca Hankey. Isabel Marion May Blasey. Suchitra Ravikumar Bendaru. Emily Rose Patterson. Pearson Stephen Abbott. Lane Allen Abel. Melissa de la Caridad Abreu Perez Prado. Luke Daniel Ackerman. Reed Logan Adams. Danielson Aleman. Elissa Nicolette Alvey. Accepting the diploma of Elijah Anderson, his father Scott Anderson, along with his mother Nicole Grammisbacher. Abby Ann Armstrong. Xander Felix Bailey. Jacob Chad Barth. Kennedy Lauren Begley. Daniel Robert Berg. Allison Christine Bilois. Melissa Danielle Bilois. Samuel Abraham Bees. Olivia Bonnie Biggs. Jacob Philip Bonifer. Brianna N. Boyer. Marissa Marie Bradley. Anne Elizabeth Goring Brake. Ariana Sage Bravo. Jace Rylan Bravo. Eric Joseph Brenner. Maya Christine Brom. Dean Charles Beekler. Cale Joseph Berger. Josh Joseph Bushgetter. Hema Bustamante. Dylan Ray Carpenter. Colin Hayes Cassidy. Olga Merare Castillo. Aiden Urban Clement. Olga. Grace Elizabeth Colvin. Brianna Marie Coltis. Jose A. Cruz. John Patrick Dolan. Kiara Lynn Davis. Kobe Andrew Davis. Reese Jacob Day. Abraham de la Cruz. Jaime Alexander Diaz Rodriguez. Christopher Diaz Trujillo. Jenny Doan. Christian Dominguez Lopez. Annie Jane Donato. Emily Dubon. Abby Rose Durkholz. Tyler L. Eckert. Cameron Joseph Eckstein. Reagan Jane Egbert. Brian Elizararas. Myra Patricia Felberg. Hunter Charles Fairbach. Abby Scott Fisher. Kennedy Lynn Fleck. Jordi Filiberto Flores Escobedo. Zachary Ty Fluke. Madison Christine Foley. Justin Anthony Fole. Alexia Nicole Ford. Pedro Francisco Marcos. Andrew Fletcher Flynn. Franklin. Ebony Elizabeth Gomez Doherty. Logan Taylor Garcia. Lauren Faith Goad. Laura Marie Gobert. Emma Christine Gordon. Kate Jillian Green. Taylor Lynn Greilich. Abigail Kate Gubbins. Heather Renee Goodarth. Angel Marie Gutenecht. Logan James Haig. Luke Anthony Haas. Patrick Commodore Harmon. Quentin Robert Harmon. Pete Mitchell Heichelbeck. Emily Rose Heim. Blake Thomas Hentrup. Sarah Rose Herman. Mariah Caitlin Heath. Meredith Ann Higgleford. Benjamin Jeffrey Hoaxang. Avery Jace Hollenden. Elliot Christopher Hope. Garrett Nicholas Hope. Gavin Lee Hope. Madison Lynn Hope. Samantha Jean Hope. Trenton M. Hope. Kaylee Yvonne Howard. Caden Giesler Herm. Lexi May Jerger. Jackson Kent Cabrick. Mitchell Joseph Kaiser. Kieran John Caston. Cam Michael Killian. Victoria Morgan Killian. Joanna Adele King. Sierra Alexis King. Landon Samuel Kissel. Benjamin Michael Kizior. Hannah Nicole Kleiser. Mitchell Alexander Klemper. Samuel Lee Klemper. Hannah L. Kress. Charlie Sue Cuse. Destiny Dawn Lane. Bennett Lee Lang. Quentin Neal Lechner. Spencer Reed Lechner. Ashlyn Rose Lee. Matthew Joseph Lee. Emmerich Grant Leinebach. Ethan Samuel Lentz. Cale Allen Licklider. Gurav Sai Lokender. Christian Mateo Lopez. Cade Thomas Love. Colin Anthony Libehusen. Elijah James Main. Jason Christopher Mayer. Jerry Paul Malone. Anissa Marie Manuel. Taylor Lynn Marshall. Karina Ruby Medina. Brianne Nicole Mariner. Callie Lynn Mariner. Cameron Martin Mariner. Chase Allen Mariner. Nathan Michael Mariner. Nicole Marie Mariner. Riley Marie Murder. Jackson Noah Miller. Brianna Lee Moffett. Eric Moises Morales. Reagan Lee Mundy. Kenneth Richard Navarrete. Alana Marie Neighbors. Kennedy Cecile Nicholson. Brooke Marie Nottingham. Drew Michael O'Neill. Sarah Jane Obermeyer. Melissa Ojeda. Lucas Alexander Ortega. Jacqueline Padilla Silva. Christina Marie Pagayan. JC Nicole Pierce. Sydney Lane Pinkstaff. Caroline Diana Prechtel. Paola Saray Torres Pulido. Hector Quintero. Taylor Jalay Reeves. Zoe Nicole Reeves. Emma Nicole Rudipolar. Nathan James Rillo. Sean Patrick Roberts. Susan Rodriguez. Ashton Lynn Roletter. Chloe Micah Rollman. Catherine Elizabeth Rosales Garcia. Julio Edwin Rosales. Acacia Nicole Rust. Cecilia Inez Sanchez. Ashley K. Sander. Daisy Adriana Sandoval. Lindsay Nicole Sandoval. Alex Trin Separath. Cody Thomas Shirley. Rebecca Joyce Sheeter. Lexi Ann Schmidt. Kimber Ann Schneer. Drew Michael Schneider. Benjamin Helming Schrader. Jebediah Gage Schrader. Jessica Nicole Schwartz. Brandon Michael Summersign. Ivan Serrano. Grace Ann Salner. Carter Alexander Stamm. Hugh Garrett Stout. Journey Nicole Sturgeon. Jersey Rain Sturgeon. John Michael Summerlot. Cole Allen Tabor. Cole Robert Terwisky. Ryan Jonathan Terwisky. Carly Alexis Thomas. Madison Taylor Thompson. Brooklyn Roseanne Thrasher. Colin Tyler Thrasher. Andrew Bryce Tim. Anna Marie Trevino. Connor Michael Trop. Grace Ann Truesdale. Kyra May Tuntland. Daniel Joseph Ebelar. David J. Ebelar. Jessica Sue Uppenkamp. Amethyst Sierra Van Alstyne. Mason Brooke Van Meter. Sandra Guadalupe Vargas. Maddie Elaine Vernon. Peyton Emily Vollrath. Nathan Reese Wagner. Carter John Walker. Ethan Bray Waninger. Sierra Eternity Weaver. Killian James Welp. Joseph Michael Werner. Aiden Daniel Wiggin. Sierra Clarice Marie Winkler. Jared Dylan Whitty. Evan Isaac Wood. Joseph Tyler Wood. Marie Catherine Woods. Kelly Zhang. On behalf of our graduates not present who might be attending virtually, William Messmer is a student with our media class that is streaming the experience for them to see. The names of our students not attending our ceremony this evening: Riley Gregory Abel, Aiden Tag Byrne, Namie Byrne, Ethan Gage Clayton, Wendy Roxana Estrada Perez, Connor Ray Fleck, Maria Fernanda Flores Palencia, Oscar Alejandro Flores, Andrew Fletcher Franklin, Daniel Enrique Gallardo, Paige Nicole Gawker, Camilla Claudia Graham, Kristen T. Green, Lucas James Harder, Maeve Marquise Johns, Dakota Ryan James, Claire Elizabeth Canese, Antonio Loya Jr., Madison Elizabeth Modize, Carson Alexander Ballou McElwain, Luxie Marie Nykum, Yulim O, Joseph Christopher Ortiz, Dominique Orengo, Catherine Marie Pochner, Nolan Adam Pfister, Calvin Edward Sanders, Grant T. Sanders, Kevin A. Saravia, Reese Matthew Seibert, Anna Marie Steffi, Nicholas Stuckey, Joshua Lee Ubelar, Brianna Renee Zaire.
I must tell you guys, that was pretty outstanding, almost like you practiced it multiple times. Did a wonderful job. All right, class of 2020, I am pleased to introduce your president, Caitlin Hinkey.
The year 2020 is certainly not what we expected it to be. This was supposed to be our year. The year we said our goodbyes to our favorite teachers and walked across the stage on May 22nd to receive our diplomas that we have worked so hard for over the past 4 years. This was the year that we had been waiting for. Instead, it has been none of those things. It has been a year filled with the recurrent theme of missing out and losing. Missing out on our spring sports seasons, prom, academic banquet, awards day, and so many other things that were supposed to be about us, the class of 2020. As I take a step back, though, and look at the big picture, I can't help but smile as I reflect on so many of the positive experiences that we will take with us during our time here at Jasper High School. As opposed to focusing on all of the things that we have lost, we need to look at all of the ways that we have won throughout our incredible experiences and unforgettable times we've had in high school. Those victories have come in many different sizes. Some are small, like getting a good grade on an assignment, acing a test that you might not have been ready for, or finding out you have the same lunch as your best friends. Others may be more obvious, like getting an A in a class, being on the honor roll, or winning a sectional with your team. No matter the size, we should all look back on those victories and cherish them. After today, we will all move forward into the next phases of our lives. For some, that may be starting college. Some may be entering the workforce, and others may be following the call to serve our country. Wherever your path takes you, be proud of the adversities that you have overcome and celebrate your victories and successes. Along the way, be sure to always remember the one we are celebrating today, being here together as high school graduates. This has been an unprecedented time. There was no blueprint or playbook on how to deal with the circumstances that we were handed, but we are here. We have made it. Standing here together, we have won. At this time, I ask you, the class of 2020, to please stand. You may all move your tassels to the right side of your hat. Left side, sorry. Congratulations to the class of 2020.